We are recording and we are streaming. You are on
Okay.
notice.
Well, let's do the pledge. I call meeting to order. Let's do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First thing you have to
You
do
got a
is
head
approve the
count?
approve the minutes. Oh yeah, already did a head count on
Okay.
that, so we can get by that.
Good enough.
Just got to approve the minutes first.
Last meeting.
Last week.
I'm good with them. Were we all here? I don't even remember who was here last
I
time.
was here.
I thought so. At least the three of us were. Tyler, you were here, weren't you?
I was here.
Yeah.
I think we're all here.
Yeah, so I'm good with them.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve them.
Okay.
Second.
Kurt's got it. And second.
Oh, buddy.
All right, all in favor?
Aye. Okay. All right. First thing we got is I got to get Brent's signature. This is Phelps got done with the south side of the Dana railroad tracks. Went out and got a bunch of pictures. I'm kind of surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised that he done
How much he did?
how much he did and what all he got done. Got signed right now. Did you guys go look at it? Did you see it or anything?
I haven't been up there since he got it done, but I saw where he was working on it.
Yeah.
He was making good headway.
Yeah, and he's offered to give us a quote for all the little dead scrub trees along the ditch that the wind is whipping and working the bank loose. So, I didn't want to tell him to go ahead and do it till you guys said it's okay to do it.
You have a pen? I can have.
Yeah.
I didn't bring one. Thank you.
So,
Where do you need my signature at? Oh,
Right
right
down
there.
there.
I see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
so you guys have an opinion? Whether or not it'd be all right to let him give us a quote on that?
I don't know why it
Or you want to
wouldn't
wait and see how the spraying and everything goes?
I guess I don't follow where we're
I'm
talking
assuming
about.
it's the stuff that they sprayed and killed, and
Yeah.
now it's just,
Just a little scrub brush, you know. Goes,
I'm sure it's shaking a little bit of stuff loose, but I can't
yeah.
imagine it's gonna
Like
be.
he just suggested it, and I said, well, I'd run it by you guys first. I don't know if we need it, but
I think,
I'd say until it shows sign that it's causing
Well-
some severe damage or something, I'd say we probably
as
don't.
soon as I get my gator down there, I'm gonna take, Brown, conservation, he said he'd go with me and look at all the ditches and see where we needed to clean out.
Oh, Andrew.
Where we needed to, make any other suggestions, so we'll just wait till this summer, or
That
whenever I
sounds
can
good.
get it, the truck or the trailer.
There's enough big work that needs done, don't. just-
Okay. All right, we'll worry about that.
I don't think that's a priority personally, and I mean,
Well,
I'm as familiar with that stuff as
I was gonna
anybody.
say, you
I
guys
didn't,
are
I
the
didn't think it was that big a deal, but
I mean,
it'd look nice, it'd be pretty, but,
yeah, it would, but I mean, at the expense of the funds in the account, I don't think it's a
Yeah.
necessity personally.
not yet, okay.
Not
All
yet.
right.
Not till we're out of jobs.
The next thing is, did you guys have a chance to read over this thing,
The ordinance,
the ordinance?
I had a couple notes.
Okay,
If you go to 305C, you're referencing Fountain County Surveyor, I believe that needs to be Vermillion
Oh.
County Surveyor.
okay. Let's see, 305C. change to Vermillion.
I don't remember exactly what, I could pull it up here and look. If I may not be able to get it up right now.
Well, that's all right, I'll let Roger worry about
And
that.
then 311D, well, I don't know what number it should be in there, but you talk about the permittee doing several things, but we never state that the permittee has to provide access to the surveyor and/or representative to perform inspections. You may want to add a statement in there about that they have to provide access to the surveyor and/or its representative
Okay,
to do any
311,
inspection. 311D,
D.
and there's several numbers there, and I don't know, I think maybe we need to add a number. I don't know if you want to put it somewhere in the middle of that or somewhere that the permittee has to provide access to the
Oh, I see,
surveyor.
okay. Application submitted to the drainage board. Application, private landowners, county.
I didn't see where if they dig a big ditch or something and you need to get down to the bottom of the hole, or whoever gets down and make sure everything's right before it's backfilled or something, they need to make sure that they safely get you down there.
311D. Okay,
Most of the time, it's not that big of a deal, but sometimes
well,
it
they
could be
get,
difficult.
get pretty deep, some of them things.
Can be, like I said, I stood on top of a 22 and I was still underground. I tapped a nade on it.
Well, I've been 20 feet below the bottom of the Wabash River
Holy moly.
in a cofferdam, so,
That's an experience.
yeah, especially when they drop a load of reseal down it.
Wow.
It's like pickup sticks. That was a bad day.
Well, I'm gonna take this list and give it back to
Send it back to-
Roger and let him
All right.
put the final.
That's the only thing I saw.
Okay,
A lot of it is hard to read, I'm not gonna lie. Anytime you're reading law.
yeah.
I agree. I have the same
It's
feeling.
hard to.
I did the best I could. My eyes got hurt.
So it's hard, so, you know, if the lawyer is okay with it, I'm leaning on their
Yeah,
expertise.
well, Ethan looked at it, he hadn't said anything, so
Well, that's,
I'm assuming it's good. Okay. Okay,
I hadn't got all the way through it. I've been distracted about 4 different times when I started on
Well.
it. And I need to just dedicate some time to go through it, but I did have a couple of things about the culverts and stuff that I'm not
Okay.
sure about. The problem I see, one of the things in there was the inlet and outlet funnels and stuff on there. I mean, that's great in theory, but that doesn't always work.
what was that one, the inlet and
I didn't
outlet?
write down.
I mean, what was it telling us?
Well, I'm pretty sure there was a thing in there that it had to have the end pieces on it.
the end sections,
Yeah,
Okay,
that's the way I interpreted it, which is great in theory, but the problem is with the ditches in the county.
they
you're not
get
gonna
run over, they get plugged up,
Well, you're just not even gonna, I mean, you're not gonna fit, essentially, you're gonna dig the bottom of the ditch out to fit that funnel for no purpose.
Okay.
Because the ditch isn't wide enough to accommodate that anyway. If you're putting that in a big area and you're funneling that water into that pipe, then I totally agree with that. But I don't know that that's a ruling. And the other thing, I mean, the county just put a culvert in on a farm I rent last week, and that's the way it was. They cleaned the ditch out even, but, I mean, that's a prime example. The way the ditch is formed, it serves no purpose.
Okay.
I mean, so I don't know how you address that, because you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, I understand that, but the reality is, I mean, I can drive you around and show you in 10 minutes 100 different ditches where that's not gonna be applicable, because unless you start from scratch with the ditch and everything, the grade, I don't know how you address that. Maybe Roger's got some ideas on that, but it doesn't take much looking around to realize that that's not necessarily gonna fit.
so that needs
And
clarification.
reality is, just like I said, the county put that one in and it doesn't have it, so, I mean, obviously,
Wind.
it's not an ordinance yet, but
Wind does not apply. Okay, I got it.
and 6 months after that's put in, and the first time the mowers go up and down through there, those are all folded up anyway.
Yeah.
Boy, you ain't kidding. I was gonna say, I got both ways. I got ones that work, and about 2/3 of them are folded up, just like you said. And I've got some I've had to take off because the mowers have folded them up, and you
Yeah.
might as well
Yeah.
take them off.
At least if it's just the pipe and a tractor gets on it and collapses it, you can jack it back up into shape.
Or you
I
can
mean,
cut it off if you have to,
Yeah,
cut it out.
but those,
Yeah, you can always cut it and get another piece and weld it on.
those things just, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, but they can be as much of an aggravation and a nuisance.
Okay,
Because the other thing that happens, if it is got grade to it and water's running, they'll cut right around the damn thing and then it won't stay on the
Okay.
pipe anyway, it falls off.
okay.
So, I don't know, I mean, obviously, like I said, I think that's, I don't know how you word that, but realistically, I think that depends on the
I
situation.
understand what you're saying. Yeah, he'll get it. Okay,
Is that in the structure installation section?
I can't, to be honest, Dan, I can't remember where
I
I saw that.
I
but
saw it too,
I-
all the.
I remember when I was scanning through that and I saw that, I thought, man, that's one of those things that's hard to,
detention,
Well, there's all different kinds of in sections.
there are. Just my, and maybe it's,
On NDOT roads, they have to put them in. They just, they have
Right.
to.
I
It's-
know on all the
it's
highways.
considered-
Yeah, see,
Considered a safety situation.
well, one of them says, somewhere in there it talks about in caps, cement in,
Is that when you're plugging the pipe? Or the end, oh, it's the end
No,
of the,
the end, the
the end of
headwall.
the, oh,
and, I mean, that's not realistic at all in a lot of cases. You just don't have the grade for that.
yeah, now here's the one that says if it's bigger than 12 inches in diameter, we've gotta have 4 to 6 inches of rodent screen on it. I mean, bars on it. Safety screens,
those are for tiles.
yeah, I guess that's all right. Most of them are all plugged up or tore off.
This was just in the, I mean, I know it referred to just the culvert section, but I can't,
Let me look at it
I
here.
apologize.
Additional requirements, wet bottom.
310 is driveway culverts applications
310?
and violation procedures, but that might just be, that's just for something culvert.
Well, section 408 has culverts.
Okay, 403.
And I don't see where it talks about the in sections. I haven't found it yet.
Five going. 4. 6. My index got all screwed up when I started adding stuff in here. A little bit off. 408 culverts, precast concrete end sections must be installed on all drive pipes. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
What section is that?
408A.
Hey, yeah.
Precast concrete in sections. On drive pipes. All culvert pipes must be in 12 gauge thickness. Period. So the only one the in sections are required on is on drive pipes. Those concrete in sections are pretty massive.
Well, and I know that we've torn a bunch of them out. I have the original drawings where they're mandated in the county.
I was gonna say, I think that they are.
And they've been tearing them
For
out.
driveways?
Yeah.
Mhm. They've been tearing them out,
Well, and what's the definition of a drive?
yeah.
I mean, is the field entrance considered a drive?
Yeah.
Is a-
Yeah,
I
legally.
mean, I don't,
It's
there's
an
a lot of
unapproved
question
drive.
there.
I think it's what the field is considered an
And then,
unapproved.
in my opinion, unless there's a plan in place to maintain and keep those ditches at a certain level, which we're not even at that point, that's useless, because then they're unmanageable unless.
But we need some sort of an apron on the ends of those pipes? Whether it's, sheet metal or what?
Depends on what it is.
Usually you want them on there because you don't want the ends of the pipe to float up.
Right,
You want to keep it down, because it floats up, the pipe becomes useless.
right.
That's what those metal end sections are. They have about 3 foot deep toe plate
Okay.
in them, that you have to put on, so you can't pull the toe plate up on the metal end sections. The concrete ones are just, they won't pop up because of the weight of them.
Yeah.
But they are heavy, and they are,
So should we specify those toe, what did you call it, a toe piece?
well,
Instead of the concrete
Well,
apron?
I think there's, I mean, what
but
I've
you
seen-
only use the metal ones on metal pipe, though.
Yeah.
Concrete pipe, you usually have to either use like a precast box structure or one of these precast metal, or precast end sections. There's 2 different kinds.
Okay, so
There's the safety metal end sections that are flared out, 3 foot long, and these precast ones are probably about 2 foot long, probably about.
Yeah.
They're a little bit shorter.
so what
but
should we
they're
say
heavy.
about that precast concrete
You
end
don't
section?
want the pipe to float up, the end of the pipe to float up. Because if it's gonna do it, it's gonna do it right there at the end.
Yeah.
So how do you,
Well, you
What's
put
the
an
remedy?
You put an end section on it, is what you do,
Okay.
but, there's a lot of situations out there that, for like,
there's different end sections for different situations.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll just put end sections, take the precast concrete off of it and just say end sections must be installed.
you could just say approved end section.
Approved.
That would make it easy.
That way whoever the applicant is getting it approved before they put it on.
Okay. That's 408A. Okay.
I've even seen them drive metal rods into the ground and put like a tow
Cable down.
cable over the top of it. I've even seen that to do it, to prevent, then you just have to wait for the cable or the metal rods to.
Okay. What do you guys think about culverts shall not be any less than 12 inches?
That's fine.
That's okay? All right. Culvert pipes are
You can
abandoned.
have tiles less than that, but the culvert, I think, is,
12-inch band, 8-inch long bolts. Must not be wheel tracks. That's stations, 3-inch compacted, before, underneath it. Okay, all culvert pipes shall be suitably anchored in place using commonly recognized and accepted materials and procedures. Is that okay?
without specifying, that's pretty
Okay.
good.
Residential requirements, no culvert shall be closer than 5 feet to adjacent property. Culvert shall extend a minimum of 18 inches past the driveway. Oh, this one here is, one they were really pushing at road school and have for the last couple, 2 or 3 years. Manually backfill to 12 inches over the culvert and compact every 4 inches. They did not have that in there.
Oh, you had it in that 3 section.
I did?
I saw it somewhere. I saw
Did you?
something about
Okay.
backfill into the spring line and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Maybe that was on other
That was
stuff.
in the section 3, I thought it was.
I mean,
So-
you can't, in reality,
Yeah, so, you're gonna have 24 inches deep. A lot of our ditches aren't even remotely close to.
Yeah.
Then you don't need a culvert. Put
Yeah.
gravel in it.
Then it block the water.
If it's not that deep, there can't be that much water.
But that's one of the
Put a
things,
pipe form.
that's one of the
Put the
things that
pipe
they
underground, put one in.
they really get on.
I understand. And then you can't get enough cover. First time you drive your tractor over it.
You don't have
crush
enough, yeah. But getting compacted around the pipe, that's one thing that they really.
Get in the
push.
shape. You gotta get a good packed shape.
You gotta
It's
get the
important.
structure backfill in around
Okay, okay.
the bottom of the pipe, yes.
I just think, all this stuff is great in theory, but as I read it, and as somebody who does some of that stuff, you come up with 100 scenarios where there's no
Yeah.
way that's ever
Yeah,
gonna
and
work.
I
And you
just
gotta
think
have
that's
some common sense
That's a
with it.
variance,
And the problem is gonna be, you're gonna eventually get somebody who's gonna say, this is what it says, do it that way. What are you gonna do? You gonna dig down a hole there
Yeah.
and cover the pipe to standard and not have the ditch? Then.
no.
No, the way to do it, you'd have to regrade the ditch, and who's gonna do
That's
that?
right.
Yeah, nobody can
Every
redo
time.
that.
To put an access in, but you have to have access to the property.
That's right. So, I mean, we gotta figure out how to word it, in my opinion, we gotta figure out how to word it.
Well, what we could do is we could put a clause in here like we've got for the assessing the drains, they could request a variance, and we can just decide. So we need to have a variance request form in this packet somewhere.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
there's just instances that I see that it's just not gonna work.
That new drive we put at the shop's only got a 6 on it. Because I really didn't want to put any in there, but we needed just a tiny
little,
bit.
yeah.
And there was no way you were ever gonna get a 12 in there, you'd only get 6 inches of flow. So we threw that 6 in there, and there's just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of water from that side of the hill, because everything else goes the other way. Well, there's subsurface next to it.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys had on this?
I don't think.
Grade adjustments, fee schedules, you good with the fees? Application fee 50 for a drainage plan, application fee of 35 for culverts to be reviewed, application of 75 for private concern.
Do they have to put in 2 application fees, one for the preliminary plan, one for the final plan? So you have to pay 2 fees then?
Yeah, well, you gotta pay one for the application, the first plan, and then you just, if you have a culvert, then you pay an extra 35. But it says there's an application fee of 75 for private. So if you're gonna put in a driveway culvert, that reviews. I don't understand that. I'm gonna have to check on that fee schedule. It doesn't make sense to me.
I was struggling with all the fees myself.
Okay. Simplify fee schedule. Okay, got that. Okay, then there's we adopt the ordinance. There's the permit application draft. And we got to approve it. Compliance and completion, this is where you inspect it afterwards. Application for work in a drainage structure. That's if they're going to work in one of our drains and do something. Okay.
So I guess an application for a drainage plan, that's just if someone wants to hook into a regulated drain, is that
No,
what-
that's this one here. And it's supposed to be, there is an ordinance on the books right now that says when you tie into a regulated drain, you're supposed to pay $35 per inlet. But they had that since '89 or something.
I don't
like that.
think you should have to pay to hook onto a regulated drain.
If you're already paying into
You're already
the
paying
If
into
you're
it.
paying into it on.
You're already, you own the ground that's on, you're paying for that pipe to be there anyways. In every regulated drain I have in Illinois, I do not have to pay a hookup fee. As long as I'm paying my taxes and everything's up to snuff, we have to notify them, you know.
I'm good with it. It don't make any difference to me.
But
I'm good with it.
I don't have to pay an extra cost.
But they come up with that ordinance in
I
'85,
mean,
and I don't know what.
It's right in,
behind
it's
it.
in our field. Shit, I could go hook onto it and not even tell you, and you wouldn't even know.
I wouldn't know it.
I mean, half the time. Now, we don't. Paulie's really good to work with. The guys that are on them boards, they're really good to work with, but we do not have a hookup fee.
Okay.
And I just don't think that's a cost we need to put on. When
Watershed.
we're already paying for it.
You're double, yeah.
Owners
That's kind of a double dip deal there.
It is in my opinion.
exempt from.
I would motion to get rid of
Hookup
that.
fee.
if we
Okay,
want to do
got that. No hookup fee in watershed.
I'm okay if you want to supervise the hookup, you know, that type of
What if it's
things.
an industrial concern or a commercial concern?
I don't know, I could get you some deets on that, because Dynachem is not allowed to hook on to.
Oh, they weren't?
No, they ruined part of that main. The main, the 22 that goes around Dynachem, it comes in around them, and it goes through the bin site and jumps the railroad tracks. So Dynachem hooked onto it way back, probably before I was even born. And it ruined all the pipe to the railroad. And Paulie went in there, I don't know what he did, but Dynachem paid for the pipe. And from the railroad back all the way over to Bino's, where Weathers' farm, is all new not new, but new is the newer part, and it was all
What'd they put in it?
dug with an excavator. I don't know whatever they
Right,
make in there.
they-
Whatever their drains were in their buildings were going out and hooked onto it, and it disintegrated the concrete. And
Yeah,
and
they use a lot of
my
acid.
great-great-grandpa, it'd been my grandpa's grandpa, they said literally drove a tractor into the hole and lost the whole track. I mean, of course, it was super M or H or something, but, and that's how they found
Their
it.
main, cause when I had my business, I sat with the guy's mother from Greece, and, their main business is citrus, non-poisonous cleaners that's used in McDonald's. That's their main business.
I mean, it never smells bad or
No, it
anything
never
like that.
smells
I just know it's called.
Okay.
I know they have a big retention.
Okay.
Essentially, they use the railroad bed.
Then we got a notice of violation for stormwater standards. Just says you got 10 days to fix it. Failure to comply would result in further legal action. So on this is what I kind of envisioned on this, is what the APC does. We have to write them a certified letter, say, hey, you're screwing up. You got so many days to fix it. If you don't fix it, then you got to come in and talk to the APC directly. And then if you still don't fix it, then it goes to court. And the judge can assess fees or whatever the judge does to it. So that's kind of what I figured. That'd kind of take us out of that. Okay. Oh, this is just extra stuff. Okay. So, does anybody have anything else on this, you think? Are you comfortable with me adding this stuff to it and
Yeah.
taking it to the APC next week?
I think so.
Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
You want to take a vote on it?
All motion, you need motion first?
Yeah, let's do that.
All
That way it covers-
All motion to take the amendments to the
Okay.
APC.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So that takes care of that. Oh, we're doing good, guys. All right, Riley'sburg drain, I just let you guys know what's been going on. So, we was up there with Dan's company, and the guy walked us around, and, or they walked around, they come up with kind of a tentative plan. And I was talking to, RJ, both kind of thought, hey, it's just a little bit high, but maybe it's not. But where did it go? Let me put it here. Yeah, there it is. There's my stack. Anyway, I'm confused. Is what is it? Who's DCCM? That's you guys?
That's us. yeah.
That's your engineering
No,
division?
Our QAW was bought out by DCCM.
Oh, okay, that's where I got
The
confused.
headquarters company is, the headquarters
Okay.
is in Houston, Texas now.
Okay.
But we still have our office in Fishers, Indiana.
Okay. Well, anyway, if you go down through, Nicholas's cost, construction, they got an estimated construction cost, clean the ditch from the bridge, 35,000. Then that depends on IDEM, what they let us do and what they don't do when we get down to Coal Branch.
That's just for the person who's gonna clean the ditch. That's
Yeah.
just their estimate on what it would
Yeah,
cost to clean
yeah.
the ditch.
And then, removal of the retaining wall and placing with box culverts. Construction costs 160, engineering fees 82,000. And then that's if they remove the retaining wall and put box culverts in there. If they just, add a gabion wall, is that how you
Gabion
pronounce
wall,
that?
Yeah. Gabion walls are just a galvanized wire basket that you fill with riprap.
Okay.
Oh, I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're not pretty,
But they're effective.
but they're effective.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
construction cost for that's 40 grand and engineering fees 65, so that's 105,000 for that one. And then, so just for fun, since Roger Azar's working on a couple other things in the county. We just had him go by and look at it. And they come up with, and they were going to do surveying, design the design the watershed to accommodate future growth, design a new concrete retaining wall, replace existing culvert with a design modeled one size correctly, structural and civil designs, $114,000, including engineering. So, you know, they're both 120 grand. Basically. Well, that's 105. So, what I did is I sent an email, and I sent you guys a copy of it, and kind of put the ball in the commissioner's court. If they want to get this thing fixed, I mean, it's 2 years before we can do anything. You got to approve the drain, then you got to assess the drain, then you got to collect for the assessments. Well, you're 2 years down the road anyway. So if the commissioner's in a hurry, or the Riley'sburg townspeople put pressure on them, then they can go ahead and fix that corner, and we'll worry about the rest of
I
it
think
when
they
it
also
becomes a
said
regulated
really,
rate.
you could probably get about why we're not doing anything to the retaining wall for a while. They didn't think that it was
Yeah,
in need of anything right away.
right.
But to clean
I would
out the
agree with
ditch,
that. It's more important to get the water away.
Yeah.
The retaining wall's not in that
Yeah.
better shape. And
Yeah,
if you don't
the-
it doesn't do you any good to have a new retaining wall if the water's not going
Yeah,
downstream.
the issue is,
Does numbers.
what's his name there on the corner? Wilson says his yard floods if we put.
It's because he won't let no one's getting the water downstream. Everyone thinks that you just magically water just comes
No,
and
we
goes
gotta
away.
we gotta get it underneath the road and onto the creek.
it's south of him is where
Yeah,
it is.
that's where it
That's
causes,
where the
South,
problem is.
south and east of him.
yeah.
It goes underneath that bridge, and then it's all wooded and everything back till it
Yeah.
runs into the.
Well, and they started to clean it out several years ago, and Eric stopped them, didn't he?
Yeah, stupid. This is
Because he
dumb.
said, well, he thought that was part of a natural waterway, and it's not.
It's
The
not. He's
Surveyor
fucking dumb.
made that a drain, so that's all right. We'll worry about that
Yeah.
later. So anyway, I put the ball back in the commissioner's court.
So, I mean, where do the commissioners stand on it?
RJ seemed talked like they might be able to come up with the money. Now, that's RJ. Haven't talked to Mike Clyke, haven't talked to Colby, haven't talked to Bill, haven't talked to Misty. I don't know. That's just RJ's initial, off the top of his head. He thought they had the money to do it. So I asked them to make a decision and let us know before the June 5th meeting. That gives them plenty of time for us to
I saw that on
know.
that email, I just was curious what their thoughts were.
Yeah, RJ seemed pretty positive about it now. He thought they might have the money.
It's be Mike Clyke's work.
Hmm?
It's be Mike Clyke doing the work.
Well, it doesn't say who's doing the work.
Doesn't who's doing the work, it's,
You know, we could contract that out if we wanted to.
Okay.
But
it's just. an
they already
estimate.
offered to dredge the ditch,
Yeah, I was wondering about available time to do it.
because they got the dredge, yeah. And Tuggle offered to do all the, surveying and shoot all the elevations and stuff. And tell them where it's gotta go, so we just have to see where it lands. And I still haven't got with those engineers in Danville to see if they wanna do a interstate
Well,
board.
he says he's lived there 20 years and he's been watering his house twice. And it's gotten in the garage more than that, but,
Yeah, it's gotten in the garage a lot. I was in the garage, I saw the watermarks in the garage.
but it's gotten in his house twice
Yeah.
in the 20 years he's lived there.
So,
But the biggest problem with that neighborhood is no one has maintained subsurface drainage there.
No.
And that guy himself has hindered subsurface drainage. BP was going to pay to put a main through his entire property
Mhm.
and catch all that water west and above him, subsurfacely, and he would not allow it.
He
And
wouldn't
it
allow
wasn't
it.
gonna cost him a dime, and he's in there bitching now because water's running around through his house. He's fucking hindering subsurface drainage, and that's the biggest problem with the neighborhood. You gotta get that right. You can't just magically think you're gonna
Well,
make it all go away by changing
I
codes.
asked him, when I was talking to him, I said, you know, it's very possible an engineer's gonna come up with an idea of running a big tile around the other side of your house, just take it right over to the bridge and not even worry about this part of the ditch. Oh, I ain't gonna let that happen.
See, that's what I don't understand. That's what has to happen. Like, there's not a, like, something like that has to happen at some point. You're not gonna get rid of the water unless you do. Like, you can build whatever wall you wanna build.
Yeah, we may have to kick this can down further, down the road a little bit further.
But I would not even be, entertain the idea of spending over 100 grand on a wall when you could spend that kind of money to get the water moving.
Look, and get it completely away from there.
Yeah, you'd be better off spending
I agree.
120 grand on the other side
I agree.
of 300 and go into that ditch and just cut the excavators loose. Yeehaw, here's 120,000, go.
So, anyway, that's where we're at.
So you're gonna propose this to the commissioners with a recommendation?
Yeah, I sent him this email right here. Oh, you got a copy of it, I sent you a copy too.
And I know, I got farms in that need to drain in there. I know all the subsurface drains are just
Okay. Let's
below,
get it. Let's see if we can
above,
keep moving.
whatever. The sediment's above the outlet.
Okay, quote, now we're down to the quotes we have to approve. Okay, yeah. So we have a quote here from Justin to do the trapping, and he doesn't want to do the bounty. He just wants to charge us a flat $49.50 a year just to do all the trapping. That seems a little salty.
What did we spend? I was just gonna say, what did we spend?
We spent, we spent just a shade under 4, but we also fronted him with a little bit of money so he could buy some extra traps. Now, it is what it is.
I haven't been up and down the whole ditch recently. But I will say, he did do a decent job of what I saw of getting them thinned out some.
Yeah.
So the question lies, in my opinion, how many of them are really there to worry
I
about?
don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying they're not there, they're there, I'm certain of that, but. I mean, if
Do we go with this for 1 year and see how it goes and say, make sure he gives us a body count?
Yeah, I was gonna say, at the very least, you gotta have a head count and actually know what we're taking out, cause like you said,
I don't know, do you have a number on how many he actually?
Yeah, I've got it up in the office. It was, I don't know, he sent me all the pictures and he sent me a copy of the form he has to send in
I
to
mean,
the,
I actually had talked to him there at one
DNR.
point when he was in the middle of it, and, I mean, he was knocking them out of there for a little while, but I don't know where he ended up finalizing, and
I guess I'd kinda like to see him go 1 more year.
it's the same deal. I know for a fact, because I've been digging them out, that they're below where the Dana ditch ends.
Yes.
And, you know, I mean, you're only gonna cover so far.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might get a little bit, 50 or 100 feet south of 700, but you're not going any farther than that out.
I mean, you go on down there a little ways and they're.
Beavers are pretty
in
thick,
there.
I heard. I didn't go down there, but I heard the beaver are real thick. So they're afraid of them coming up the creek.
Yeah, but
But,
Mark Foltz said he had Justin up there getting some out of
yeah,
Riley'sburg.
yeah. So what do you want, do you guys want to accept this? Somebody needs to tell me.
We did not spend this much last year. and we
No,
think-
not quite this
And we
much.
think there's less potentially,
Well-
then
that's mine.
I have a hard time.
That's where I'm.
I mean,
You want him to ask
So I
him to
just
re-
got curious real quick, because I didn't know anything about muskrats or how fast they can reproduce. They have 2 to 3 litters a year, can have 4 to 8 young in each litter, and they can reach sexual maturity in 1 year.
They can go.
Just saying, they can
They
reproduce.
can
They're very-
go in a
really
hurry.
quick.
That's what I say, I wouldn't
Okay.
mind going 1 more
Yeah.
good year
Fair,
with him and see where he
fair.
gets.
I had no idea, I didn't know if they had 1 litter a year, but I mean, I just looked it up real quick, because I was curious myself, and I don't know, I would
But
probably.
it's your decision,
propose
whatever you
to
guys want to do.
I don't know, that just don't bother me, so other ones do.
I just,
But-
Don't bother me.
I wasn't here when you guys did this last year.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I
So
know.
we
It was
pay them
upstairs.
we pay him $5,000 to
No.
trap
We
muskrat
paid
beaver.
we paid him a total of just like 3,800 or something like that. It was a little bit less than $4 grand.
So it's $1,000.
But we did front him a little bit extra money to, get some extra traps, because he went down there and he says, there's no way I don't have enough traps. So we did give him a little
I mean,
extra
there
money.
was, me seeing it all the time, there was a legitimate problem before. I mean, I haven't been up and down the entire ditch, but the sections of it I've seen, I've not seen near the traffic, which means we got our money's worth
Yeah.
last year. I just stumble on the numbers should be down in theory, and the bid goes up. That's a little rough for me
Yeah.
personally.
I can see that.
But do you, a suggestion is I could ask him to go back and send us another quote.
I say,
We thought that was a little salty.
personally, I think that needs to happen, or we lay off here and see what happens.
Lay off for a year and see what happens.
Call him back.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
If we only paid him 38, I would be happy to, I would agree to, if everyone else did, this price we paid him last year would be fair enough.
To maintain it.
And keep a record of the numbers. If you could show us that you're getting more, we'll pay you more.
All right, that's what I tell him. Is that what you want me to tell him? That's what I tell him.
I would be.
I mean, I get, he didn't,
I know things go up.
personally, to me, when I read this, that he doesn't wanna do the
The head
counts
count,
and
yeah.
everything,
He knows they're not gonna.
then it pretty well tells the story to me that he thinks they're gonna be less.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's my opinion.
I would normally agree with that, except, old Dan Sheets up at Clinton County and them, they say they have a heck of a time. They make them turn in a bounty up there. And he said those guys are always complaining about having to get tails and keep track of the heads, or the tails and catalog them. And so it's,
I get
they
it.
have to do it for the DNR anyway.
Yeah. I
Why
mean,
not just make it
that's my question,
for us?
I guess. He's, I mean, to trap in a regulated drain, he has to submit them anyway, so he's counting.
He's gotta count them.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
to me,
why I
this
think-
feels like when a guy that mows your lawn tries to get you to go to 12-month billing.
Okay.
You know?
I don't know, I just got a little problem with just
So you,
signing
well,
off.
first off, you want the head count, no matter what.
I think we
Okay.
need to know.
We gotta have the bounty.
Yeah, we need to know how many
Okay.
he's getting.
All right.
Because, I mean, if he gets a third of what he got before, and next year he wants the same money
Right.
again,
Yeah.
then, in my opinion,
We're not out of jobs looking to blow money. We barely
No.
have money to get jobs going, so we're just trying to
Yeah,
cover.
at this point.
you
Some.
know, I mean,
I mean, I know it's the Dana one, but still.
So, prefer lower.
in my opinion, the Dana ditch specifically, it's pretty easy to say, yeah, I'll take care of it, because there's money in that account right now, but the reality is. you
Sooner or
have
later, it's
one
not gonna be
major
there.
thing go on, and that money can be gone in a heartbeat, and I don't wanna just volunteer to just
No,
hand it out for no reason.
No.
That's my opinion.
no, hey, now this 18 grand here, this came off last year's money, so it's not in this year's, so it was encumbered from last year, so we don't have to worry about that. So I just ask the council to give us 50 grand out of that account and just park it. Whatever we don't spend goes back into savings at the end of the year.
I don't know, I think we need to revisit that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
So
fine with
ask for a requote? Ask for a requote? Okay.
The sad reality is, I mean, a handful of them can wreak havoc on things, I understand that, but you still,
Okay,
you gotta pay for it.
that. Mm-hmm.
okay. So I'll try to have something, let me ask you this. If we don't meet until June and he gets us, can I just email you guys the new quote? And then you can just say over the email yes or no, and we can move ahead if it's not.
I guess as I'm thinking this through and looking at it, I mean, when you turn the page and you look at what the spraying costs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think we're getting a lot more bang for
or
our
buck on the
that.
spray than, yeah.
Personally, I mean, a lot more,
Yeah.
because I've seen what he's done and he does a good job.
Yeah.
And personally, I think he's very reasonable
Yeah.
for that side of it. I just think that's a little.
Him and Kevin bumped heads a couple times.
It's gonna-
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
But anyway, I think Kevin had even, was already, maybe talked to him last fall about adding something to his spray because there's, I don't know, one plant out there that's giving him problems, so. Okay, I'll take this back to Justin. So,
Can you ask him how many hours he actually thinks he's spending on that?
yeah. How many hours a week?
Yeah, because I'd say he's probably spending a significantly more amount of time out there than what.
Yeah,
some spray
him and
guys.
Johnny they run up and down there, I don't know how many, once or twice a week, I would guess, I don't
I don't
know.
know how often they're checking the lines.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we'll take care of that. Get back to you on that one. Okay, next one, JB Brush Control, $1,850. Let's see, wait a minute, 224, 25.
Yeah, I'm confused. I don't get the total.
How did you do that?
My math ain't working.
Boy, it's not me either. I never even looked at this, I just,
Well, he's got 2 years,
He's got-
2025 and 2026.
Yeah.
but it's
well, you got
total.
2026, where do you see that at?
Oh, well, when you read
The
the
next one
when you
down.
read the sentence, on the date label, it
It's
doesn't, but
total-
down
it's total
in the
doesn't match
description,
what the
yeah,
book is.
he's trying to bid 2 years, is that what?
Oh, yeah, okay, I see what he's doing.
In other words, he's given us a price for, I'm not following
I'm not,
because
The
the
25
2025
number
is 1975, but the
total is
1850.
Yeah.
I think he just screwed up there.
yeah. Let me do the same thing, let me give him a call and
I
get
would
back to you
say
guys,
so.
Yeah.
okay?
I am all for
Keeping that going.
realistically, regardless.
Well, yeah, even
Whether
if
it's
it's-
the 1975 or
Okay.
1850.
Or if it's
I'm
even
all
the
for
two.
getting it done because it needs to be done. I have no problem with that whatsoever. We just need clarity before we
Mm-hmm,
approve it, I guess.
Okay,
I agree.
all right, got that one. This is Eric Smith dragging the cattails out of the ponds and the ditch at, AC Grain, $3,500. And haul them off.
Seems fine to me. Is that too much? Too little? I don't know anybody that'd do it for less.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
Me either, I think that
I
seems
mean-
more than fair.
Realistically, the time I'm, moved in there and loaded it, hauled it off, find a place to get rid of it.
Yeah. I mean, I got my own trailer, I don't even wanna do it.
Okay, you guys want to accept that one?
I'm okay with it.
I make the motion to accept it.
Okay,
I second that.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
motion carried, that one, and the last one. This is aquatic control, this is the, pond guy that JB says does all the ponds up at Fowler and around. I guess they travel all over the state because they are licensed to do aquatics. So his quote, to spray those ponds after they're cleaned up, and it says, I think he's gonna spray them twice. Yeah, application of herbicide will be completed in 2 treatments during the 2025 season that will be separated by approximately 4 to 5 weeks. Treatment program to begin late May, early June. Minimum 90% kill of cattails in the treatment area is guaranteed for the 2025 season. Not achieved, retreatment will be provided at no charge. In order to obtain long-term control, multiple seasons of treatment may be required, which we know that. Proposal does not include removal of dead plant material, which we're gonna take care of that. Okay. Program, $963.
Well, here's my question.
It's $900 plus $63 sales tax.
When's Eric gonna dip it out?
It needs to be after he sprays it. isn't
No,
it?
no, before. He's gonna get it, he's gonna do it before, and then they're gonna go back
I mean,
and
if
spray
he's
what's
gonna
left.
dip it out and haul it out, there's not gonna be a thing to spray in May, June.
Oh, I think there will be underneath water. There'll be a lot of cattails underneath that water. Popping up.
Are you just, does the chemical just work on the water, or do you have to put it on the plant?
You're asking me a question I'm not prepared to answer.
I don't know.
I have.
I would say it's like when you used to put atrazine in ponds. You just spray the water
Okay.
and it filters down.
The cattail spray I've used, you have to put it on the plants, kind of like what do you call it?
Glyphosate, Roundup?
Yeah, it's glyphosate, yeah.
Glyphosate will kill cattails.
Yeah. But this has stuff they use as a surfactant.
Yeah.
That's appropriate for water.
It makes water wetter, is what Dad used to say. Just
Yeah.
makes
I
water
just-
wetter.
I don't know. I mean, no bigger than that thing is, if Eric's gonna dip it out.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're gonna dip it out, and you want the chemicals to work on the plant,
On the root.
you gotta wait for the plant to get up to where you
That's
can
right. And it depends on
apply
how
it.
much Eric takes out, whether he takes the root ball out with it, and there is nothing there for a short,
I don't know.
for a period of time.
How
I mean,
far
that
out
could
did he
very easily
reach?
be,
How far out in the pond, or I don't know how big the pond is, I don't
And
know.
this is just for Dana,
It's a-
or for the elevator, one of the
Yeah.
elevator?
Yeah,
That's
and
not
it-
the
and
rest
it
of the
did.
Eric
ditch?
goes all the way around that with his big hoe, he's
Probably gonna reach it?
probably gonna reach it.
I don't know how big the pond is.
It's not very
It's-
big.
It's not
Okay.
very big.
Acre, maybe?
Okay.
Oh,
I think
man,
it's an
it ain't
acre.
that big.
Half
It's
acre.
not.
It's about the size of a pool.
Yeah, a little bit bigger.
But
It's not a lot bigger than this room.
then
No.
the ditch is what, 100 feet long? From the pond to the road?
Probably.
So if this is a pond, you cut, in my experience, I've done it, you cut it off below the water level and it won't come back. But if you get a dry year and the water level goes down, it will.
Yeah, they'll come
So
up.
there'll be some residual shoots that will come
Well,
up.
the reality is it's retention pond, and I mean, there's times during the summer,
Oh,
it's,
totally
there's nothing
dry.
there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why we gotta deal with it, but
Yeah, he's
Sorry, we'll
right.
get some
Yeah,
bigger
it's
things.
not
my,
always submerged.
I just don't know that. I mean, I hate to keep kicking all these down the road, but in reality, I see no reason to spend money until we see what's done once Eric's done.
I agree with
I mean,
that.
I think we need to table that and just,
The price itself is not bad, because I know drone guys are charging like $500 an hour. So, I mean, if he's coming and doing it twice, he's pretty much in line, and he's.
yeah, I don't have a
Water,
problem
so-
with the cost, I just don't know that
Yeah.
he's got anything to spray.
I agree.
Yeah. I
Personally.
mean, I think you will. We had 5 ponds and we fought them cattails all the time. And Dad would spray, we didn't have any through the water, but Dad would spray them every year. He still use some atrazine, he wasn't supposed to, it's not labeled for that anymore. And copper sulfate, and what's that other stuff, aquicide, is what he used.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna aggravate this guy and think we're wasting his time, but I personally think we need to table that until we see what Eric gets done.
Okay.
All right,
That's just
everybody in
my
agreement with
opinion.
that?
You guys, that's, I mean, I'm not trying to persuade anybody, that's just my personal opinion.
I mean, hell, they can always fall spray, couldn't they? I mean, you can always push it, you can always get them in the
I mean,
late
I think-
season if it doesn't.
I think we'd have a better shot at success if we got the cattails out and then went back and sprayed what's left, but it's up to you guys.
That's what I've done. Yeah. Wayside pond, yeah, it used to be surrounded.
Yeah, that was bad.
Oh, yeah, I was the one that cleaned that out. So I've got a little experience at it. Don't blame you for not wanting to do it.
Well, what do you think? If you've been through it before, what do you think? I mean, Dad used to
I
do it.
think Kurt's got the right idea, yeah.
Clean it first.
Because that's what we did, cut them down and sell what came back, and, at the end of the year, we had a few shoots, and I think actually cut them down, there's still a few, and, wasn't a big deal, pretty small, I mean, it was a hand sprayer for what was left.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you're dredging them out, I mean,
Oh, you're
taking
going,
them out with the excavator,
you're going deep, I just cut them at
yeah.
Well, let me ask you
the
this.
water at the ground.
I mean, we bid it for him to bring an excavator in there and dip it
Yeah,
out,
drag
so,
them out of there, and haul them off.
so
Should be a real
I
clean
mean, if
job.
he takes most of the root balls and stuff with
Oh,
him,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have the root balls, but underwater, they didn't come back.
yeah.
So there's that. So, yeah, if he's taking an excavator, it should be a good job.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Kurt's got the right idea.
So, well, let me ask you this. depending on how quick Eric, let's say Eric gets in here in the next 2 or 3 weeks, would we be able to make a decision by June, on the next meeting?
Well, yeah, I mean,
If we could get it done now? Okay.
the reality is, Tyler and I personally are by there multiple times a week
Yeah.
to look at it. I mean, if, once Eric gets it cleaned out, we're gonna know pretty quick
Okay.
how much is left, what he was able to reach, and whether there's an issue or not.
Okay.
Because it's just a standard pond, I mean, the reality is, until it gets dry in the summertime, the edges are the worst, and if he gets 90% of it, then,
Okay. But the sooner Eric can get that dredged,
The
The
better.
better off.
the better off we'll know come
absolutely.
when you guys get done planting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Eric can get it done relatively quickly by the June meeting, we're gonna have a pretty good
Okay,
handle on
all
whether
right.
we got an issue.
Yeah, and if it was already dredged, then yeah, you could
Alright.
say, yeah, if these guys wanna come in, you know, sure, maybe, but yeah, I agree.
That's
See what
just
happens.
where
That's
my
fair.
mind goes,
That's
rather than
fair.
just sign up to
Spend mine.
spend another $1,000 that may not
Okay.
even do anything.
Oh, that's fine. I'll chase Eric down, get that done. Fellas, that's all I got. I promised you a short meeting,
Yep,
and that's it.
that's it, we just need a motion.
Unless you guys got something else you wanna talk about.
That's all I had. Did Kurt make a motion?
Kurt made a motion,
I'll second it.
Tyler second.
All in favor? Aye.
The cattails I took out, I used a scythe.
Oh, yeah?
I just skimmed the dirt.
That's good.
Cut them low,
One cut,
and drug them out, let them dry, and hauled them off and burned them.
made a nice fire out of them,
It
didn't
did,
you?
it did.
I'm just,
But it's a lot of
Well,
work.
that may be a little different because of the fact that it gets dry in the summer, but, you know, I mean, I've done that personally a couple times around Dad's pond before we redug it. Take the hoe and dip them out of there, and then it comes
Yeah,
back for a long time.
root ball should take care of it.
Or, you know, in a dry year, the water level goes down, then you'll start seeing a few more, but
Okay.
until then,
we will take care of this, fellas, and hope to have it all wrapped up by the June meeting.
Awesome. Great job.
Anything else?
Did you go to the Indianapolis game last week?
No, Diane called, seen how much the tickets were, she decided real quick we didn't need to go.
Yeah, Carter said the same thing.
Huh? Did Carter go?
No, almost, he looked at it, but. He said you just about had to get both sessions if you were doing it.
Or are they gonna get the tickets next year after all the stuff that's going on with,
I don't know, they're keeping, they'll keep their season tickets as long as they can,
Colvin and all them leaving, and
might as well.
they got that new boy coming in, and,
Heidi's
mess.
leaving.
huh?
Heidi's leaving.
Heidi's leaving, Colwood's
Oh,
leaving.
that's the thing to do now.
Did you see that thing about Smith? They had him leaving.
Oh, I
And
didn't
down
see
at the
that.
bottom in real fine print, he put April Fools. They did it on
Okay, I
April
didn't
Fool's
see
Day.
that. I wish I would've read that, that would've got me going.
Oh, about gave me a heart attack. Thanks, guys.
So we had,
I enjoyed doing business with you.
oh, yeah?
yeah, math class, talking about that whole math class.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those kids are great. She's got pretty much honors classes.
Well, yes, that's a pretty good bunch there. That's a pretty good class.
See you, Ron.
See ya.
They work well together.